It's Over Opinionated. Josh Scott.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Over Opinionated, and I wanted to get on here earlier this week, but yesterday the power went out when I got home from work, and I am actually live streaming this podcast on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, I won't be able to answer all your questions. I'll try to look at them, but I won't be able to answer all of them. And so this podcast is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be doing a movie review. I'm a big Marvel fan, big Marvel nerd, and this weekend I got to do something that I haven't done in a long time, probably in 20 years, and that was go to a drive-in movie theater. And I enjoyed it. Right next to the town I live in the same county, we have a drive-in movie theater. They showed a clip. They showed a commercial at the beginning of the movie that the theater had, that there's only around 300 or less drive-in movie theaters. And I tried to confirm if that number was accurate, and it seems like it is. And that's crazy because when I was a kid, drive-in movie theaters were really big. Now, when I was a little kid, I think my dad took me to Jurassic Park and the drive-in movies, at least one of them. And I had such a fun time going to the drive-in movies when I was a kid. And I enjoyed it. We actually didn't sit in the car. We had lounging chairs, so we just pooped out our lounging chairs and sat down and watched the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So, at the beginning of this year, or well, really at the end of 2023, I saw that Marvel was only going to release one movie. And most of the time Marvel releases 3, maybe 4 if they're pushing it movies, and a few of the Disney Plus shows. But they only did one Marvel movie, and I thought that was a good thing because, listen, I'm a big Marvel fan. I love the MCU. I think it's great. I think it's great storytelling. And I still think it's good storytelling, but they have had a low point. I can't believe it, but 5 years ago with Endgame, and spoiler alert for any MCU movie up to Deadpool and Wolverine and show, Endgame was just amazing. Not right now. I'm just doing a podcast right now. I'm sorry. We're not doing joints, but Deadpool and Wolverine was, Endgame was amazing. I thought it was a great story, and, people were really afraid. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Deadpool character. He's very brash. He's very, very loose with his language that I wasn't a fan of, and, a lot of sexual jokes. But, this movie I really liked, and I think Deadpool does really good as a side character, and he, don't get me wrong, this was his movie, but it was also Wolverine's movie. It was also Hugh Jackman's movie, and I think having another character out there to kind of stabilize Deadpool and have Deadpool come in, break the fourth wall, or come in and tell a joke. I really like that. I like that aspect instead of just having Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool carrying the whole show. And if you like Deadpool, that's okay. There's a ton of people that do. If I ever wrote a character, I couldn't write a character exactly like Deadpool. Jokes are fine, but he breaks the fourth wall. And when you break the fourth wall, you have to do it in a good way, or it just is awful. And I'm normally not a fourth wall breaking type of guy, because I generally like when characters are invested in the world, and I think sometimes it can pull them out of that investment if they know that they are, if they know that they're in the world. If they know that they're outside the world, I think sometimes it can. I just I don't like it too much. But with Deadpool, it works. He does quicks. He's funny. It works with Deadpool. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. Disney bought Fox, 20th Century Fox Studios, and a lot of people were worried that Disney, being the brand they are, was being more of a family friendly brand, was gonna make Deadpool be PG-13, and they just went full rated R. I think that Deadpool dropped 2 F bombs within like the first 30 seconds, and if you know, if you know the movie industry, you only get 1 F bomb in a PG-13 movie, and after that it's R no matter what. I don't think. I'll be honest. I don't think this is a hard R. You know, at first I was like, should I watch this or not? Because conviction level. But I watched The Boys, and The Boys is a hard R, and I don't know. I am starting to feel convicted about watching The Boys because it is gruesome, and it's I don't know. I don't know if I should watch that. But I don't think Deadpool is nearly as bad as The Boys. So if that's what you're worried about. Now, I mean, it gets a little gory. There's blood. But it's not so much that you can't handle it. At least it wasn't for me. And, with the old X-Men movies, the X-Men timeline is one of the worst things in movie history to try to keep up with. It's a mess. But a lot of movies are good. I've just watched the first original X-Men trilogy. X2 and X3, and it was good. X3 isn't the greatest movie, but it's not a bad movie. And Hugh Jackman always steals the show is Wolverine, and I just, everyone I think has to love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Hey there, to my TikTok chat, but someone said hi. But Hugh Jackman obviously is one of the I think he's one of the greatest comic book characters in live action as Wolverine. But he had, honestly, in Logan was a great film, and it was a great send off to Hugh Jackman's character. But as Deadpool said, nothing can make an Australian bunch of bones come back to life than a big bag of Marvel cash. And the way I see it is the Logan movie finishes the arc of the of the first X-Men movies, and it finishes Logan's arc, and that universe's Logan. He finished his story in my mind. Now, yes, we can say, and if you think about it, it does make you feel because Deadpool digs up the corpse of Wolverine and unalives all these TVA agents with them, because his skeleton's still made out of adamantium, one of the strongest metals in the Marvel. Vibranium and adamantium are the strongest metals in the Marvel universe. They're fictional, but they're super strong, and it is hilarious to watch him just destroy these TVA agents with Wolverine's body. But when you think about it, you're like, man, this is a character I love. This is a character everything, and you just desecrated his grave at a site where he's trying to help these mutants go to Canada, and including his daughter, because the government's trying to eliminate all the mutants. And it's like, darn, that's the Wolverine we grew up with, we loved. And you think about it, but you don't think too much about it. You go from that. into the next scene. He's selling cars. You know, there's a hilarious scene with Happy Gordon. So one of Iron Man's best friends, and Happy Gordon is giving Deadpool an interview, and it's hilarious. It's just hilarious. The awkwardness, the jokes in it are hilarious. Now, I've heard a few Christians say that they can't watch this movie. I'll be honest, this movie didn't hurt my faith at all. Well, and you could say, well, they made fun of Jesus. Okay, I don't really think Deadpool was making fun of Jesus. Actually, he said, "I'm Marvel Jesus," and that's borderline. But if he said, "I'm Marvel God," I'm a Marvel God, we wouldn't have blinked an eye. It's because he said Jesus, and obviously, I love Jesus with all my heart. I don't want anyone to talk bad about Jesus, but I don't. Is that really what Deadpool? Is that really what Ryan Reynolds is doing? And then there's the scene of one of the Wolverine variants being crucified. Yeah, it is obviously a nod to Christianity. I'm sure, but it's referencing a comic book that's nodding to Christianity. I haven't read that comic book. I couldn't tell you if it's talking bad or good, or making fun of Christianity. But I will say this: Jesus isn't the first person to die on a cross. He's the most important person to die on a cross because he came back for our sins. He died and rose again. But the cross that Wolverine is on is an X shape. Now they're saying X-Men. That's what they're saying. But actually, an X-shaped cross is a Christian. It's a really old Christian symbol, and it's the cross that Saint Andrew supposedly died on. It's the same cross in the Scottish flag, the Andrew's cross. The Confederate battle flag also uses it. So that didn't bother me too much. The only thing at the end where I was like, ugh, it's hilarious how it happens, but at the very end where Deadpool is trying to pull on the timelines to save the universe, and the corrupt TVA agent says, whoever does this, they're going to just die because this will get rid of all the atoms in their bodies. And then Wolverine, he breaks in and he helps Deadpool, connect the timelines together. And they're racing against the evil sister of Charles Xavier, who was in the Void. And the boss of the TVA shows up and he says, "Oh man, it was just a tragedy. My friend, he knew the thing, he knew everything." And then Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He says, "He has risen, baby girl." And then you hear him say the F word. He goes, "F." The TVA agent. Okay, now that he has risen, he's definitely talking about Christ, rising from the dead. I think the scene's hilarious. I don't know if I love that. You could say that's mocking Christ. I don't even know if he's trying to, but maybe it is. But it didn't hurt my faith at all going to this movie. And listen, I'm used to hearing languages. I'm used to hearing dirty language. I played on a football team for 5 years. In high school, from 8th grade to 12th grade. My high school went from 8th to 12th. I'm used to dirty language. I'm used to the most filthy, vile language you'll ever hear. I don't like it. After I got saved, I really didn't participate in it. I've heard there's a lot of people that's been like, man, if I get, and I'm not saying I never cuss, but if something, I might get hurt or, make a mistake or say something, and if I'm around some people, I'll be like, man, that's the first time I've ever heard you cuss. It's like, well, I don't try to, but I'm a human being and sometimes it slips out. So, I can take some cussing in a movie. I don't want to hear F word every 2 seconds, but I can take a little bit of cussing. It goes off personal conviction if you want to go to it or not. But this movie is great. And if you have a way, Video Angel, I'm not one of their customers, but they edit a lot of stuff out. Maybe one day I'll check it out. They edit all the things out of it you don't want to hear or see. Um, so you know the so Deadpool, he's looking for a purpose. He's lost his purpose. The X-Men have rejected him because he goes rogue. He kills people. Hey, thank you for the likes, Chief. He kills people. He's not a superhero. The way a superhero should be. He's an anti-hero, and so he's rejected from the X-Men. He goes to a different universe. With I think he has something from the previous movie with Cable. He has a machine that he can transfer through timelines and universes, and he goes to the 616 universe, which is the universe we're used to with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. That's the universe we're all used to, and he gets rejected from the Avengers. So he's struggling. He's struggling with his place in the world, like a lot of us are. And you know, and the TVA, they come in and they say, your world's dying because Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. They don't say Hugh Jackman, but Wolverine's died, and they introduce something called an anchor beam. And once the anchor beam dies, the universe slowly unravels, and it takes about 1,000 to 2,000 years for that to happen. But when that happens, the universe just ceases to exist. The timeline is pruned. But this TVA agent, he wants to go back to the old way of things, and he just wants to take it out. He wants to take down that universe. He wants to take down that timeline. And that's Deadpool's universe. It has his friends, it has his loved ones in it, and he wants to save it. So he goes around, he looks for any Wolverine, and we see a ton of cameos. We see the comic book accurate Wolverine, which in the comics, Wolverine's actually pretty short. I think he's like 5'2". And they shrink Hugh Jackman down. He's like 6'4". He's a very tall guy. They shrink him down using CGI, and it's hilarious. So he's looking for any Wolverine he can find that he thinks will be good. He sees the crucified Wolverine. He sees an apocalyptic Wolverine. He sees a gambling Wolverine with an eye patch. I think he's called Patch. He sees a Wolverine, an old man Wolverine. If I haven't said that. And then he finds this one Wolverine. He's drinking at a bar. Everyone's being a jerk to him. And Deadpool walks up and he says, I need you. I need you to come with me because, I don't know if he says exactly his world's dying right then and there. And he walks up to him and, Wolverine makes a joke like Deadpool's a hooker or something. And he says, get lost or something. And Deadpool says, I know who you are. He says, yeah, well, everybody knows who I am. So that gives you a hint. And the backstory behind that is that this version of Wolverine from whatever universe he's from is a raging alcoholic. And it takes Wolverine a lot longer, or Logan. Logan's also Wolverine's name. It takes him a lot longer to get drunk. Because his healing ability kills off all the alcohol. So he has to drink a lot, and he drinks a lot in this movie, and he's trying to drown his demons out. He's trying to drown his past out. Because in this universe, the X-Men team, so Jay Green, Scott, Cyclops, Professor Xavier, they die. And they die, thank you so much for the gift. They die because Wolverine is drunk in a bar somewhere. And by the time he hears about it, it's too late. He can't help them. And so everyone in this world hates him for it. And Deadpool's able to eventually get him through the portal through the TVA, and he sees the comic book accurate suit, and it's beautiful. The comic book accurate yellow suit is absolutely beautiful. There's no denying it. And Deadpool makes a joke. He said it only took 20 years because when Fox was making the original X-Men movie, they were like, well, we can't go with the comic book accurate. This is too weird. It's just too crazy. People won't like it. So they put them in black spandex. And I'll be honest, looking back at the old movies, the black spandex does not look bad. But man, that comic book accurate costume, when you see Hugh Jackman in it, and you see his claws come out, and they have the little guiding things on his wrist. Oh, man, it makes you.
Let's take a quick break.
Has anybody ever told you you were over opinionated? How about this one? You can talk about everything you like, but don't talk about religion, don't talk about faith, don't talk about politics. My name is Darrell McClain, host of Darrell McClain's Show, and I want to introduce you to a show called Over Opinionated with my friend from Southwest Virginia, Josh Scott. Josh has always been told he has been over-opinionated. He always tried to hold back these opinions, but he tried to back them up when he had to say something with facts and logic. Since he's grown up in many ways, he had to change a lot of his views and his opinions, as a lot of people should. He's not a millionaire from Fox News or CNN. He's just a hard-working, blue-collar type of guy. Give Josh Scott a shot at Over Opinionated with Josh Scott. You can find him on patreon.com/overopinionated at 679. You can also check him out on Twitter at NRV_guy79. Over Opinionated with Josh Scott, where he is this soft-spoken guy telling you the truth.
Ooh, and especially when he puts his mask down before they have the montage of killing all the Deadpools. Oh my gosh. It gives you butterflies. It is insane. And I'm glad that the MCU only did one movie, and they did it great. They did it great this year. And last year, I can't remember every movie that came out last year. I know that the Miss Marvel's movie came out, and I was worried that it was going to be horrible. But I liked the Miss Marvel's movies. I thought it was good. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out, and that was also good. But some of the shows have been really bad. The Secret Invasion show was bad. It was so disappointing. The She-Hulk, that was a tragedy. She-Hulk is horrible. And she breaks the fourth wall, and it's so cringy. She-Hulk is everything, is all the stupid Deadpool stuff. Okay, well, let me say this. Let me say that in a better way. She-Hulk is the worst version of Deadpool. Her character, in a way. It's horrible. And then they had the rapper, I think her name's Megan Thee Stallion, and they had her teaching She-Hulk how to twerk. I don't want to watch a green giant twerk on television. I don't want to watch that. I have no desire of seeing that. Okay, Disney? Give me more Deadpool Wolverine, less green things twerking at me. That's all I'm asking, Disney. And listen, Disney's a horrible company. I love Star Wars, even though Disney's had hit and miss when it comes to Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and I love Marvel, and I love a lot of old Disney stuff. But Disney's pushing a woke agenda. They're pushing left-wing bullcrap, and I can't stand it. Down people's throats, and it's hurting stuff. And now Disney, someone passed away at Disney, I think at Disney World, and the husband is suing the company because the company is, I think his claim is that they didn't have nuts in something. They didn't know that. His wife didn't know that, and she ate it, and she died. And Disney's trying to claim because he had a Disney Plus subscription, and in the fine details of that says you'll have a neutral arbiter, that he can't take her to court. Even though having a Disney Plus subscription is watching something on television and then going to a theme park, totally different things. Disney, I can't stand Disney as a company, but Disney has a lot of things I love, like Marvel, like Star Wars, and but I do think that this movie, there's a silver lining, because there's not much woke crap in it. There's a gay couple that's in it with a cameo for a very short period of time, but is that woke? I mean, I don't think so. And listen, even as a Christian, I don't have problems with a gay character per se. I mean, from a moral perspective, I don't like it. I don't like promoting those values. But as long as the character is original, and as long as the character was written that way, now it's when you try to make characters something they're not. Like when people wanted Captain America to be gay. That doesn't make any sense for Captain America to be gay. We've seen him have a love interest in the very first movie. We saw him have a girlfriend, and he kind of flirts with Black Widow in the second movie, and then in Captain America Civil War, he kind of gets frisky with a girl in it. So I mean, we see that Captain America is not a homosexual several times, and they wanted to make him gay, and thank goodness that they didn't. I mean, seriously, thank goodness that they didn't. Hey, Haley, thanks for joining the live. But that's what drives me crazy. If you want a gay character, just draw up a character that's gay, and their whole personality isn't their homosexuality. Okay, I just have a good character that happens to be gay. But that's Disney's big problem. But in this movie, I'm hoping that this movie might be a little turnaround for Disney. Because even Deadpool, he makes a joke when Blade comes out. I've never seen the Blade movies. I need to, but I know who the Blade character is. Blade comes out. He's this cameo. It's supposed to be a big surprise because I think he was also in the Fox. See what happened. Let's rewind a little bit. Marvel in the 90s had to sell their rights. Had to sell a lot of their characters' rights to different studios. So Marvel had sold the X-Men to 20th Century Fox, and anything related with the X-Men belonged to Fox. They sold Spider-Man to Sony. They sold the Incredible Hulk's solo movie to Universal Studios, but they themselves still had the right to use him in other projects that wasn't for a solo movie. But and then so I don't know, and they might have sold someone else to someone else. They also sold the Fantastic Four to Fox, and Disney bought Fox, so Disney has almost all their characters back. They don't have Spider-Man back, but they have an agreement with Sony to have the Spider-Man character appear in the MCU. So that's how they obtained that. And then Sony tries to make their own Spider-Verse movies without Spider-Man, with characters like Venom. Now they're making a Carnage movie and all that. But anyway, I got off topic a little bit. We get back to the Blade. Blade. Shoot fire. Blade. Deadpool asked the guy who plays Blade. He says, "I thought you were retired." And Blade said, "Did you say I was retarded?" and Deadpool says, no, I don't want to get canceled. And he, I think he also made a joke one time about the woke mob, and it was pretty good. I mean, like, it wasn't so in your face right wing politics, because Disney is not right wing. I don't think Deadpool's right wing. I've never seen anything indicating that, but it was funny. And maybe we're getting beyond the crazy woke crap. Just like the new Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney was going to put out there. Well, they made Snow White not a white person, which, it's in the old hymn, a skin as white as snow. And then they made the Seven Dwarfs the normal people. The normally tall people. And I think they had one dwarf. And it's actually pretty offensive to little people, to dwarfs. I always call them midgets, and maybe that's offensive. I'm not trying to be offensive. But it's a mad world. And I wish companies like Disney and Amazon, and I wish that they realized that about half the people in the United States don't believe in this leftist garbage. They might not believe in what I believe, but they don't believe in leftist garbage. And you don't. And listen, I'm not saying, and I understand that art isn't neutral, but you have to have at least art not hate half their audience. And that's why I like this Deadpool movie. It doesn't hate half its audience. It's good. That's one thing. That's one reason why, man, it's getting hard for me to watch The Boys. Because The Boys has always had a little bit of politics to it, but it wasn't we hate Republicans, we hate Christians. Well, I don't know. They did get pretty close to the we hate Christians stuff, I think, in season 2 or something. But sometimes it was just a critique, like a critique of evangelicalism gone wrong, and some critiques that I've made myself. But that's why it's so hard. It's so hard for me to watch The Boys anymore. It's got one more season. I'll probably finish it. I just want to see the end of Homelander's story. I want to see the end of A-Train's story and Huey's story. And Butcher. That's all I care about. But I'm sorry. This is a Deadpool review, not a Boys review. But I'm just trying to say I don't like when all the things are preachy. There's a difference in being preachy and having your message subtly. There's a difference. You should not hate the audience. You should not hate half the people in your audience. And conservatives also love superhero movies. I'm as conservative as it gets. And I love superhero movies. I love comic book movies. That's one of my favorite things. I love Spider-Man. I love Iron Man. I love Captain America. I love Superman. I love Batman. And I actually love this Deadpool movie. Deadpool's not my favorite character, but I love this Deadpool movie because it's good. It does what a Marvel movie and a superhero movie needs to be. It's not so super dark. And listen, I know DC fans will say, well, you just like to be little kids and stuff. It's like, no, okay. Listen, I like DC, but everything doesn't have to be so dark. It's okay to laugh. And guess what? In Endgame, Infinity War, it ends on a rough note. The good guys lose in Infinity War. It is dark in that sense. The way Loki dies at the beginning of Infinity War crushed me to my core because they made me love Loki in the movie before that. I think it was Thor Ragnarok. So you make me love this character and then you kill him brutally. And for a PG-13 movie, that's one of the worst deaths I've ever seen. One of the most emotional. Now, they kind of brought Loki back but it's a different version of Loki. In a sense, they got Loki back from an earlier point in time and did the Loki series, and that series was great. Why can't we have stuff like the Loki series? Disney, okay, let's have the Loki series, the WandaVision series, and the Captain America series wasn't bad, but it got a little woke. So cut the politics bullcrap out, because in Marvel, for the longest time, from Iron Man in 2008 all the way up to Endgame in 2020, had no gay characters. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a gay character, but it wasn't woke for that long. It went from 2008 to 2020 without being woke, with being fun, with having good stories and compelling stories. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could say Spider-Man Homecoming gets woke. A character in it is kind of woke, but she's a character, Spider-Man's girlfriend, and I think they kind of toned that. I could be wrong, but it feels like they toned that down a little bit in the last Spider-Man movie. But we're doing the multiverse, and the way you do the multiverse correct is Deadpool and Wolverine. The way you do the way you do the multiverse correct, I think, is the Spider-Man. Not Far From Home. Crap, I can't remember the last Spider-Man movie. His name. I just can't remember it. The Into the Spider-Verse is the Miles Morales movie. So, the cartoon movie. So, but the latest Spider-Man movie, where you had all three of the live-action Spider-Man coming back that we've all seen, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. That is a good multiverse thing. And the way you also do a multiverse is the multiverse of madness of Doctor Strange. So I think less is more. I think less can be more. Let's get good Marvel movies. Not put out crap like She-Hulk. Not put out crap like Secret Invasion. Good Marvel content. I love superhero movies, but I would prefer one good Marvel movie a year to two crappy movies and a good movie. So give me one good movie a year. Now, if you make bangers, if you make all three of them bangers, then fine. The new Captain America movie, I'm excited about it. I think Sam Wilson is not a bad Captain America, and you put him in with Bucky Barnes, that's fine. But the plot of this movie is good. So they spend a lot, I'd say a big portion of the movie is in a fictional reality called The Void. So they're not even on Earth. And for you to know that, you do have to watch Loki. So I'm going to say this, though, because there's some fans that I hear complain. It's like, I don't want to have to watch the shows to understand the movies. Well, listen, this is just how business works. They put the shows on Disney Plus because they want you to buy Disney Plus. Okay, this is just capitalism. So then, when you understand the movies, but I do think you could understand this movie without watching Loki, but you understand it better if you watch Loki, both seasons. I took my wife to this movie, and she hasn't. She's watched all the movies up to the first Avengers movies. Well, that's a lot that's missing, and she's watched a few here and there that are sprinkled. But she kind of got this movie. I mean, you can watch this movie, hop into it. You could probably hop into it the first time and enjoy it. But you're going to miss a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of this and that. And man, that's part of what's so fun to me is watching the Easter eggs, watching videos after it, explaining the Easter eggs, explaining the cameos. That's what I love about Marvel. It goes so deep, and so I love this movie. It's a good multiverse movie. It's a great way how they end it. The Fox X-Men. A lot of the X-Men were in this movie. Toad was in it from the first X-Men movie. Pyro was in it from, I think, he might not be in the first X-Men movie, but he's in the second and the third. And Pyro ends up dying because he betrays Charles Xavier's sister, who's been running the Void. So, and it seems like the whole multiverse is kind of connected to the Void. That's the one constant. It doesn't matter if you're from the Fox X-Men universe, or you're from the 616, or you're from here or there. You're getting, once you die, or well, maybe not once you die, but once your universe gets sucked out of existence, or once your universe, you get pruned from the timeline, from the TVA, you go to the Void. That's the one constant thing, is the Void. And then you see all the superheroes and super people in the Void. It was just kind of like a purgatory until the Leviathan, the smoke dragon, comes and eats you. And Leviathan's actually a biblical, it's actually a biblical term mentioned in the books of Job, Leviathan, the fire-breathing dragon. It comes from the Bible and Job. I don't know how many Marvel nerds know that. I'm sure some do. But I do like this movie. I think I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I mean, I really do. You know, is this a movie I'd watch with my grandma? No. So you got to know your audience. If you're wondering if you can take your kids to this movie, you got to know if they're mature. Can they handle some mild gore? I'd say mild gore, some blood, some language, and not let it hurt their heart. You know, if personally, if you don't want to watch this movie because of conviction, I get it. I won't shame you, man. We all have to answer to God for that, and it didn't hurt my faith at all watching this movie. It didn't. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I loved that I saw it in a drive-in theater. Haven't done that in years. And I know I'm doing this review late, but I didn't get to watch it the first week it came out. I think I'll probably hop back into politics at the end of the week. I'll probably do a review of the DNC and some election results. But yeah, this movie's fun. This movie is really fun. I'll be honest with you, man. Just having fun, giving this review and everything. A part of me wishes that that I could just sit home and make videos of superhero movies and superhero reviews of comic reviews, and maybe write a comic book. That'd be really fun, to write a comic book character. I love politics, but man, this is awesome. This is fun right here. If I could do this and talk about Jesus and make money, I'd do it. I love this, guys. So maybe we'll do more movie reviews, more comic book movie reviews. But also the Human Torch, played by Chris Evans, who also plays Captain America, comes back, and he doesn't do too well in this movie. Deadpool gets him killed pretty quick because, he should have knew what was going on with the budget, guys. I mean, come on, he should have knew he was driving the budget up. The only question is this the same Johnny Storm that children fell in love with from the original Fantastic Four? Well, from the Fantastic Four movies that Fox released. Part of me hopes not, man, because even though he's kind of a jerk, he does have some redeeming qualities, and he dies pretty horribly. Maybe it is, maybe it's that Johnny, maybe it's not. But man, it was cool to see Johnny Storm back, even though he got his skin ripped off and died horribly. But and that just got me a little bit because, I didn't understand it completely until I watched the review, because I thought that the guy that just sucked Johnny's fire out of him was using some type of superhero power enabler, but it was actually Pyro from the first X-Men. Yeah, but the original X-Men trilogy, Pyro controls fire, and obviously he's older now. He's middle-aged, And in the X-Men trilogy, he's probably, he's in his early 20s, I think. But that's why Johnny Storm, that's why his fire just extinguishes, because Pyro, he can't make fire, but he can control it. So he just takes Johnny's fire away, and then he lands on this big thing. He hits his balls. It's hilarious. And then he says some horrible things about Charles Xavier's sister. I can't remember her name. I don't know that this is the first time I've understood this character. I've never seen her before. But apparently she's Charles Xavier's sister. And she wasn't supposed to be in that universe, so the TVA pruned her and put her in the void and made a deal with her because she's so powerful. She's super powerful, like Charles Xavier is. Now she has to actually use her fingers to go in your brain, which is nasty. But she's a telekinesis, and but super powerful. Whatever she thinks happens. She's like Jean Grey. And Charles. She's not as powerful as Charles, I think, because she grew up in the void. And she gets pissed off at this guy at the TVA who's trying to prune a lot of timelines. And she said, you know what? I'll just make the void all there is. So, this was kind of a huge level multiverse event that Deadpool and Wolverine stopped. And, and it is really touching to see this Deadpool go from, just absolutely down on his luck. And, in pain and sadness and sorrow. And then he comes in and he helps save the world with Deadpool. And then, are we going to see more Hugh Jackman? This is my thing. I don't think we need any more Hugh Jackman movies. And that's not because I don't love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I do. But I think we have enough Hugh Jackman movies, solo movies. But I think you can bring him in the Avengers Secret War. Avengers and, the new Avengers movies. I think you just bring him in as a side character. And we can just accept that the Wolverine from the Fox universe died at saving his daughter and saving these saving these mutants. They weren't all girls. Saving these mutants, and helping the mutants still exist when the government was cracking down on them, and they're trying to escape the border of Canada. So I think I'm just going to accept that Wolverine died a hero, and that is his end. But this Wolverine, he's a new Wolverine. And I had a friend say, well, but it's the same character. It is a very similar character, almost exactly the same, but from a different universe. So I'm just going to embrace the multiverse. I'm just going to embrace, and you know what? I would absolutely love to happen, but will probably never happen because Warner Brothers and Disney would probably never get along. I'd freaking love, and we could do it too with the multiverse, if Doctor Strange at the end of a movie is opening a portal and we see a red boot step off with a red cape, and then it pans and we see that that would be awesome. Just imagine Spider-Man shaking hands with Superman, or Batman in an argument with Wolverine. I've got goosebumps, man. I've got goosebumps. Or Thor. I like that cape. How? Yeah. Well, the first Thor was very Shakespearean, very King James. How he talked King James Bible. Now we just have we went from King James Bible 4 to New King James Bible 4, but now he's just like one of us. He's just he's a NIV speaking before. He went, how art thou hither today? And then how art thou today? The New King James 4. And then now he's just, how you doing? We went from King James Version 4, New King James Version 4, to the NIV 4. So that's basically what we went to. But man, I don't. So they would make so much money if Warner Brothers and Disney put their differences aside. I understand they're huge studios and everything, and they're rivals. If they would have put all that aside, man, and they would make so much money. You know how much money I would pay to go to a theater to see Spider-Man shake Superman's hand? More than I probably should. More than I probably should. And listen, I want Henry Cavill Superman, okay? And you know what? I would love to see Iron Man have a conversation with Superman, but Iron Man's dead. You could bring him back somehow if you want. The only few people that stay dead in comic books and comic book movies, as they say, is Batman's parents. They stay dead. They're very dead. And Uncle Ben. Everyone else gets brought back. And listen, I think I don't want to cheapen death in comic book movies at all. I'm not saying that. But if you do it in the right way, through the multiverse, through timelines, I don't want you to do it so much it cheapens death. But that's just kind of how comic books are. I just want to see good stories, and I'm okay with the multiverse. I actually love the multiverse. Deadpool made a joke to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He said, welcome to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're kind of at a downtick right now. And that's true, but when Marvel's on a downtick, they still produce okay material most of the time. Now, I will say She-Hulk was crap. She-Hulk was crap, Secret Invasion crap. But Loki was great. And Disney's starting to sell physical copies now. And I'm a physical copy guy. Before I got married, I bought all kinds of physical copies. I've slowed down. And I lost a majority of my MCU movies, sadly, when I moved. I need to find them. I still have all the Iron Man movies. I have all the Avengers movies, all the Spider-Man movies. And I think I have all the Captain America movies. But I really want to find my MCU. I had them in a black DVD holder. I really want to find that. Because I don't want to have to go on Disney Plus to watch an MCU movie. I want to just pop it into the Xbox or the PS5. Something with a DVD player. Okay. Maybe that's weird. Maybe it's not weird. But I like having physical copies of things. I don't hate digital media. I've bought digital media before. I listen to books. Obviously I watch stuff on Disney Plus and Netflix and stuff. But there's just something about having it. There's just something about having a book. There's something about having one of these in your hands and bending it and, getting the highlighter out and highlighting. And it's just something about having one of these in your hands. Now, when I'm at work and I can't have one of these in my hands, I'll put it in my ears. I'll listen to it. I like physical media. That's just how I am. Digital media is okay, but if it's something I love, if there's a movie I love, I want the physical copy. If it's a movie that I can go without having and I can just watch it on Netflix, that's cool. But I need to catch up on my physical media. But the only thing is, it does get a little expensive. So, maybe one day when we have all our ducks in a row, I'll go back to getting some more physical media. But I will be buying the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I will buy the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And, well, guys, I just want to say God bless you guys. Next podcast will be more serious. It'll be about politics, the election, the DNC, But I just want to say God bless you guys and have a great day. Well, I'm not going to do a verse of the day today, but I will be getting, I will do, just because it's a movie review, but I will get back to it. But God bless you guys. Have a great day.